take a look at probability distributions and expected values. Expected value, which we write as E of x, is nothing more than a weighted average which describes the expected value or average of a probability distribution. Let's take a look at a concrete example. So let's say we asked 30 people how many TVs they had. And here were the number of TVs, 0 through 5, and here's the number of people who responded that they had this many TVs. So for example, one person said they had 0 TVs, 5 people said they had 3, and my total number of course is going to equal 30 because I asked 30 people. Now to turn this into a frequency, I'm simply going to divide the number of responses by the total number of people asked. This will give me what's called a relative frequency. And if we add up all of the relative frequencies, they should total 1 because that should cover 100% of the possible responses. So if I add these up right here, it equals 1. So in other words, one person said they had 0 TVs. That represents 3.33% of the respondents. And 5 people said they had 3 TVs, which represents about 16.7% of the respondents. Now what I'm going to do is simply take the value, 0 TVs, times the relative frequency, or the frequency percentage, and I will do this for each of the values. Now I can just copy this down. This is going to give me my probabilities of this particular value. Then I simply add these together to get my expected value. In other words, my average. So based on this, because these are not equal, right, we're essentially weighting the values. So the value, the probability of getting 0 TVs is 3%. Probability of getting 1 TV is about 10%. And so it's just really weighted values. We add these up, and our expected value, or our weighted average as it were, is 2.9 TVs. In other words, based on this survey, the average number of TVs that people have is 2.9. We can't simply add these up and divide because they're not weighted equally. So all the expected value is a weighted average where you simply take the relative frequency of the value itself, multiply it, and then add them up, which is really the same type of thing we did with our weighted average problems in the other chapter.